I'm Dave Palumbo, and I'm about to give you a little glimpse into my world. This is my life. We haven't had another episode of My Life in a very long time. We had a lot of people complaining, so I'm going to give you a little brief one right here. I'm going to give you a little tidbit, a little Palumbo tip. I know you guys like eating tips, and a lot of people come to me and say, hey, Dave, I want something to snack on. I'm not a big believer in snacks. I'm always like, eat meals, protein, fat, carbs. Protein, fat when you're dying. But you know what? The bottom line is people like to snack if they're watching a movie at home and they're sitting around on their computer and they want to kill a little time. They like to munch on something. And a lot of times things are very unhealthy. Now, I love movie popcorn. The problem is, and I think a lot of you out there probably will admit, is that when you go to the movies and you eat the popcorn there, it tastes great going down, but then you get a stomach ache when you leave from all the disgusting, trans fat butter in there. You could tell them butter-free, which is what I do, but they still fry it in that lard, basically. So I have a tip for eating healthy popcorn. This is what I eat when I watch movies at home. I take my Species Nutrition macadamia nut oil, and I put in a pan, in a pot, okay? I put about maybe 1.5 tablespoons here. I just move it around the pot a little bit, as you can see. Circulate it around there. And then what I do is, this is the key. You take 2 kernels of popping corn. And this popcorn is the cheapest shit you could possibly buy. Okay, this is Jolly Time. This is the cheapest one in the supermarket. Because popcorn is popcorn after a while. Don't let Orville Redenbacher tell you anything. And those microwavable popcorns, they can say plain, butter-free. They still all have butter in them. They all have oils and bad oils. This is the best oil. This is pure monounsaturated, pretty close to pure monounsaturated fats, all heart healthy. And macadamia oil, remember, can be heated. That's the key. You can heat it up. It doesn't dissolve. It doesn't degrade the oil. You put the 2 kernels in here, okay? And then you fill up about, now this is depending on how much you want. I usually put about 1/2 cup of the kernels in there, okay? And then I go over to my stove. Oops. I take this over to my stove, and I put it on my heat. I turn the stove on high, and I got to put a top on this. Let me see where my top is. Okay, it's still in here. I got my top on here. Now you leave this on here until you hear those 2 kernels in there pop. When they pop, the key is, that's when you know you have enough heat on this thing, okay? Because you don't want to put your kernels in there until this oil is heated up properly. Now remember, the great thing about the mac oil is you can heat it, it doesn't degrade like olive oil, okay? And it's a very heart-healthy oil, and it's great for your metabolism. When I eat a lot of mac oil, my metabolism goes faster. I get leaner, actually. All right, so I got my popcorn here. It's all ready to go. I'm just waiting for that pop. And if you remember from the old days when they used to have the Jiffy Pop before microwaves, and you would kind of, this is probably before most of your time, you would shake it like this and it would pop. Well, sometimes I like to move the pot to distribute the heat properly. But I'm waiting, and at any minute I'm going to hear pop, pop. Here we go. This is a Viking oven, by the way. I was talked into buying this very expensive oven, but supposedly it provides more heat than most ovens. I don't know if that's true or not, because I don't really cook that much on here. But here we go. I hear it. It's coming. It's coming any minute. Any minute. This is the longest part of the procedure because you got to wait till those pop. If they don't pop, like I said, you're gonna get ununiform popping in your popcorn, and what's going to happen is you'll get half the kernels will pop and half of them won't, and then that's no good. Okay, so the key is these first 2 pops. I'm just waiting. I know Jeff, the producer, is salivating over there. He's wanted to taste some of it. I got him so intrigued with this popcorn, and I'm going to teach you guys how to season it properly too, and it's going to be absolutely delicious. The pot was probably cold. Oh, there it goes. There it goes. That was the second pop. Now all this goes in here, okay? You pour it in, and you start moving it nice and gently, just to distribute the heat and make sure the oil is distributed properly. And as you can hear, if you come closer to the camera, you'll hear the popping. Well, actually, you can probably hear it through my microphone. And little by little, it's popping. Now, the key is, you got to have a top on this. If you don't, the popcorn is going to go everywhere. And believe me, I've done that before. It's a mess. You find popcorn behind the oven, under cabinets. It's incredible. All right, here we go. So I'm going to shake it a little bit here. I'm getting some definite popping. I hear it. There it goes. Now they're really going. I'm going to get my microphone close to this so you can actually hear it. Hear it? And it's starting to smell good. Jeff, I know you smell it now, don't you? I have to get a see-through pot so you guys can see the popcorn popping, but it's going crazy now. You're going nuts. And the key is, once again, if you didn't let this thing preheat, okay, what would happen is you would burn the bottom of your popcorn too. A lot of people make popcorn and it gets charred, the stuff on the bottom. That's why I like to keep moving it around like this. The key is you stop the popping process, you take it off the heat when you no longer hear a lot of popping, when the popping goes down to once every couple seconds. Right now it's still going pretty crazy, so we're good. Keep moving it around, the heat a little bit here. Distribute it, make sure we don't miss any key pieces. It's a great treat, I'm telling you. You guys are going to love it. It's a very light snack, heart healthy. Steve Bleckman would like it because it's all carbs and fat. There's no protein in this. Still going, good. Now if you put too much popcorn in here, okay, prior to this lid will lift off too, so you don't want to do that. So half a cup is good. Believe me, half a cup will provide more popcorn than you could actually imagine. I can't believe it's still popping. All right, let's listen to see how many more pops we got. Because I think it's slowing down now a little bit. As you hear, the popping is not as frequent. Okay, now is the key. You don't want to leave it on too much longer now because then you can get burning. All right, I think that's good. Okay, now this is the part where you don't want to burn yourself, but I'm going to let it keep going. Even though the flame is off, I'm going to let it go. I'm going to let some of the air out. Here we go. Pour it in here. And almost every kernel is popped. Almost every kernel, as you can see in that bowl, is popped. You put this in your sink so you don't burn yourself. And now the key is you get your sea salt, okay? And you sprinkle some sea salt on here. I like a lot of salt in my popcorn. Now, some people will put some Parmesan cheese on here too, if you want a little bit of a cheese taste. You know, and that has pretty much no calories in it. So that's another good one. Now, next step, eat and enjoy. Delicious. A little more salt. And I'm ready to go watch a movie. Take care, guys. See you next time.